kids coming up in your situation
Right.
or that were coming out of college that don't really know. The draft's even less now, bro. It's 20 rounds. It's like they don't really know their future. So for that undrafted guy with a lot of potential where it's like, what would your biggest piece of advice or biggest thing you learned from that experience be?
The first thing I'll say is you got to get the reps.
Yeah.
Go somewhere early on. Go somewhere where you're going to get the reps,
bro.
and
you gonna play.
You got to get the reps. You got to go ahead and make sure you're going to play. The other thing is you got to learn the game within the game of the level that you're at and also where you're trying to go. You got to understand how to move in it, and also what the other side of it is looking for. And then I'll say the other thing too is, so let's break down like really the schedule.
Yeah. You know what it is. Come on.
So if you're just getting into independent ball, pro ball, and you don't really know what that next step is, get into winter ball, play summer winter ball. So if you got winter ball, then you got your spring training, you're going to get on somewhere, you're going to get a 40-man, or not 40-man, but you're going to get an opportunity, invite to camp, something like that. Then you're going to play somewhere all season. So your invite to camp's going to be February, March.
Yeah.
Now you playing from April to September.
Every day.
Every day,
bro.
Monday, depending upon the levels, the only off day.
No, now it's the whole indie ball and minor league scene adopted the minor league schedule. So now it's 6 days on, Mondays off, which is usually a travel day.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Exactly. And then once you're done, you take a month off or a certain period of time off. And so I'd say learn the schedule.
Facts.
And you got to change how you work depending upon how bad you want it, where you want to go. Like, and the way I look at it is you should be looking at things in 2-year increments. Are you moving up in 2 years? Are you making adjustments? So one thing might be your nutrition.
Yeah.
A thing I learned early on was 2019 going into pro ball, I was outside still every weekend. But I would be at workouts. So workouts would be, so this is the other thing people don't realize. When you finish college, workouts now on you.
Yeah.
So who's your trainer? Where are you getting your work at? You got to find that out. How you going to get your lifting? I'm a big advocate for it. I think you should have a gym to go to. And if you're not going to pay for like a fitness trainer, like speed and agility and weight training, you need to pay for a hitting trainer. Something.
Find your flaws, bro.
Yeah.
Like whatever you lack in, that's where you need to put your time in, while also rising up what you're already good at. But your main focus is on your weaknesses.
Yep. And you need to dedicate the time to it. Like, you got to figure out what that schedule is going to be like for you. And I don't think enough people look at it. You are busy. You are training 5-6 days a week with 1 day off, and that candy or drinks you used to like, you can still have, every now and then, but that stuff needs to be gone, because if you're not a drafted guy, what are you looking at?
Stacked up against you, bro.
Stacked up.
A lot. And it's only getting worse.
And if you're an 18, 19, 20 round guy and you get released. Same thing. Are you putting this stuff into your body? So you asked the question, what's my biggest takeaway from it? My biggest takeaway is, I'd probably say ask questions from the coaches and from the other players that have been where you're not.
Exactly.
Like, my coach, my first year in Pecos, gave me the game on how to move an indie ball, right? And
a lot of people don't get that, though. A lot of people don't have that. That's a luxury of what you just said. There's a lot of managers. No, but for real, I'm going to let you finish. But there's a lot of managers that you just another body. But yeah, keep going.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And it's also knowing who you can trust.
Facts.
Too, and who you're going to open up with. I'd say it's learning the game, and it's figuring out also how to move up and be dynamic. So what I mean by being dynamic is, if you don't play a certain position, you might have to learn another position.
That's real.
Right? Like in college, if you're a corner guy and you don't have the speed for center. So what I mean by corner is, let's say you're a corner guy left and right field and you don't play center. Going into pro ball, you might have to learn first base.
Yeah, you don't have to. Unless you banging, bro. You're going to have to.
you might have to learn. You know, if you're a first baseman and you're not a lefty, you might have to learn a little bit of third base.
Yeah.
Or learn right field. If you have an arm, learn right field.
Yeah.
And then talk to the different guys. Like, the other thing too, I learned the higher I went up was actually the easier the game got. So one thing I learned was Boog Powell, right? Played with the A's.
Big leaguer.
Big leaguer. He taught me one thing of, we always think that when you're in pro ball and you're getting ready for a game, you got 160 games. You thinking you got to be getting ready with the same reps every day. No, it's not true. So one thing he taught me, you know, big shout out to Boog, was he was like, when you're in the outfield, you get your main round alive, but that might just be for 8 to 10 reps.
Yeah.
But you're going to learn, you're going to work on what you need to work on. So
reps,
if you're trying to work on flipping your hips, you're working on flipping your hips. But after that, for the next 2 rounds until it's your turn to hit, you might only do 3-step drops just to focus on reading the ball off the bat.
It's the quality over quantity.
It is.
Yes, sir. The farther you get to, the more important it becomes.
How you going to keep your legs for that long?
Yep.
Right?
Every day, like I said, it's every day. So you don't need to. Some people do, but like
some do.
In the long run, you trying to be fresh in September when it's playoff time, when it matters. Like when that's where the big time players come to play.
So let's get real technical real quick. So let's say you are going hard every day.
Yeah.
Come July, August, September.
The dog days.
Dog days.
Going through it.
When you're in those, when you have some of those different at bats, how you gonna stay in your legs, as we call as a hitter, right? When your legs are gone for 2 or 3 weeks because you were taking all those extra reps. So now your legs are gone. Now you're getting your doors blown off, but on Aussie pitches, you're not sitting back on it. Or you're not hanging.
Enough. You're just slightly off. Because in baseball, you're slightly off. You're not doing nothing. You can't even play.
Yeah. So it was that, you know. And honestly, you learned a lot from pitchers. Yeah. The higher I got up, I think position players, the higher you go up, talk to your pitchers, talk to your catchers. They see a game completely different. They can talk to you in different ways where all of a sudden you think it's a big adjustment, and maybe it's just like it's a small adjustment. It might just be how you're seeing a certain pitch, you know, and next thing you know, you're back on again. And so I think that's what I learned most was talking to different guys that I didn't talk to in high school and college.